Hi everyone, I want to talk a little bit about probability in the Behringer RD-8, and this is quite a controversial topic actually, because I heard many people saying that they just don't agree with the way it's implemented in the RD-8, and I can absolutely see why they would say that, and that I think has to do with how this function is used in other machines, and I'm mostly thinking of electron devices here. I think I first heard it being used in the, I think the analog 4 in this electron 4-voice analog synthesizer. Maybe it was also in the analog rhythm, I don't know. But the way it works there is completely different from the way they set this up in the RD-8, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences here and how to use it in a way that can maybe make sense, hopefully, to you. Let's look into this. I have a pattern programmed here, and first of all I'm going to show you how, in my opinion, not to use this function. The probability has a dedicated setting here. In this data mode section, when you press the knob a couple times and you have this little field where it says PROB, probability, illuminated, then you can see a number in the display, and this number is a percentage number. This means that when this is set to 100%, then all the notes are played just the way they are programmed into the pattern, and basically probability will have no effect at all. Now if I turn this value down, you'll hear more and more notes dropping out of the pattern until I'm left with something that is really hard to get a feeling for. Or I no longer, now when it's, for example, like this, when all the steps are affected by probability, I turn this down to 30%, I press play, and I get something totally, well, there's no groove, there's, I'm left with something that is, confusing in a way. I don't really get a feeling for the tempo at all. For maybe I can get a feeling for the tempo if I really pay close attention to the notes that are playing right after each other, but basically this is not really useful. This is just weird. So let's get back to 100% here. And now let's think about how to use this function, and let's try to see where the differences are, the way it's used in here and the way it's used in an electron machine. In an electron machine, you wouldn't have a default setting like this, where each and every step is actually assigned to probability mode. You would have a blank bar like this, and then you could select your own number of steps, maybe just 2 on this page, and you could even define different values for these 2 nodes now that are affected by probability. Maybe set the first one to 70%, the second one to 50% or so, whatever you want. This doesn't work in the RD-8. I don't think it's possible to set different probability values to individual notes, and all the notes are assigned by default. So if I'm now thinking of a useful way to of the advantage this could have over setting individual notes, I must think of which nodes maybe should not be affected by probability and take them out of the pattern. Not of the program pattern, but of the probability assignment pattern. So in this case, for my accents, I'm going to let you look at the pattern, all the steps that I have programmed for accent here. These are quite many, and this is a 32 step pattern, by the way. So these are 2 bars in a 4/4 measure. So I don't want probability on the downbeats because I really wish to keep these as an accentuation for all the other steps that I want to play constantly, that I'm also going to take out of probability mode now. So in order to do so, I have to get back to probability mode. I'm on my accent part. Okay, I want all the downbeats, or the 1, 2, 3, 4s, not to be affected for the accent part. For the bass drum part, I want just the very first kick to also not be affected by probability. And for the snare, I'm going to take out the 2 and 4, downbeats 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's these notes. That's the kind of notes that are usually played by the snare. And now for my closed hi-hat, I want to leave just the offbeats and take them out of probability mode. Offbeats, when you count 1, 2, 3, 4, offbeats would be counted with and in between. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's, the offbeats, that's what in reggae music are the accentuated beats. Okay, so I have my very first step of the kick taken out of probability mode. I have my 2 and 4 taken out of snare, the snare part, and my offbeats out of the closed hi-hat part. And now I'm going to exit probability mode, and now listen to the pattern again. It will, when I'm on 100%, this will sound just the same. But now when I use a smaller percentage for all the remaining steps that are still affected by probability, if I turn this to 0 now, then I'm only hearing the steps that I just took out before of probability mode. So this is a very fundamental type of pattern, but I still keep a feeling for the groove, for the tempo, and basically now I can add on to this by giving all these other notes a higher percentage. Now I'm on a percentage of 57% for all the other notes that I haven't taken out. And if I let this pattern play for a while, there will be something interesting happening with these number of notes, and it's really unpredictable what is going to happen. I mean, all in all, this function is not as, it doesn't work in such a detailed way as in the Electron devices. I think you can, as I said, I think you can assign an individual percentage number for these notes that are affected by probability, and even combine these values with a note and say, okay, I want this note to only play if another note before also gets played, and if it doesn't, then this other note should also not play. That's something I think that the Electron devices can do also, but this is a whole different approach. It's like really switched around a bit in the RD-8. But when used like this, I would not say that it doesn't make sense. I kind of, it is not as complex as in the Electron devices, but it's used in a different way. And if you know about this, then I think you can make some good use of it. The flam function, on the other hand, which is also assigned to each and every step by default for all the instruments in all the bars, that is something else. That's another story. I don't think that makes sense the way it's implemented here. in this case, I really agree with the people that say I wish there would be an update and you know, have the steps taken out of flam mode, because what flam does is you get these double hits, like when a drummer plays the snare drum with the two sticks, with only a very short delay between the two drum hits on the snare. That's where you've probably heard this in other, and to me it doesn't make sense to have this effect on each and every step for all the instruments in a pattern. Personally, I would wish for an update there that has these steps deactivated or not assigned in flam mode, so that I can, for this function, just pick individual steps, yeah, like the Electron devices do with the probability function. It does sound a bit like a chorus effect, maybe. I'm still talking about the flams now, but it doesn't really sound as yeah, as nice. There is no feedback parameter here that I could use to make this a little longer lasting or so, almost like a delay effect. And I don't know, it's a bit weird the way it works in here. What I can do here with this assignment, going from 0 to 24, is switch or change the delay time between these two hits. Every step will be triggered twice. Every single step for every single instrument, and this is the delay time between these two hits. So I can make them very short, almost at the same time when I'm on a value of 1, and a bit further apart when I'm on the maximum value of 24. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I've said all I wanted to say about probability and flam. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. Next time. Bye.